Hey guys, how's it going? Luke here, Lukewarm Reviews. I'm talking about Hold the Dark today. Let's get into it. Hold the Dark is the new Netflix movie. It's the story of a young mother who her son gets taken away by wolves in Alaska. She lives in Alaska and she sends a letter to an author/hunter played by Jeffrey Wright to ask him to come help find the wolves, find her son, and then it just kind of explodes into lies and cults and murder and lots of murder. So much murder. I was really excited about this movie because I love Jeremy Saulnier, I think that's how you pronounce it, the director. He did Green Room, which has over the years become one of my favorite movies, straight up. I also love Riley Keough. She's one of my favorite actresses, and Jeffrey Wright and Alexander Skarsgård are cool as well. So I had high hopes here. I saw it right when it came out. Let's talk about it. It's good. It's not phenomenal. Point number one, what is the experience like watching this movie? It's definitely confusing. And I want to emphasize the difference between when a film is obscure and when it's confusing, because I love when a film maybe, holds its cards and, makes you guess at some things and makes you figure out things for yourself. But there are aspects of this arc that seem kind of directly contradictory. I was never really sure of Alexander Skarsgård's character's motivation. I didn't really know what he was about. And it just left a lot to be desired for me. Also, I have to address, since there are so few films these days, especially big Hollywood films that are being made about indigenous populations, indigenous people, Native American people, you have to carefully consider the representation every time. And here, it was just a little bit like every Native character was either kind of a mystic, like shaman, or a paranoid, militant, kind of whack job. And I also didn't understand why the main two characters, Alexander Skarsgård and Riley Keough, were white. It never really addresses that. They're just these two white people that live in a community full of Native American people, and it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense other than the fact that they wanted to cast Riley Keough and Alexander Skarsgård, which is fine. They're good actors, but the whole movie, I think, would have made a lot more sense if they were Native American. I don't know if that's just me, but they seemed really out of place. And then when all this stuff started happening to them, it's all very kind of mystic and kind of like tied to the land. And I was like, I don't understand why it's happening to them, and why they're there, and it just left me scratching my head about a lot of that stuff. I hope that made sense. It's not bad. I know I just said a lot of negative things about it, but it's not bad. It clips along pretty nicely. It doesn't feel too long, which is great. And there are some really powerful scenes. And the first 20 minutes is really, really great, but I just had some stuff. Point number two, is it original? Yeah, I love movies that are kind of set in these wild northern wildernesses. I really liked Wind River from last year. I wish that people did these more because I think they're really cool. And it's something you don't see often. And I wish that more people made more movies concerning Native American populations, because I think it's a really cool culture that I would love to see more of, and hopefully more represented more responsibly than it might be done so here. I'm not saying that this is, I don't want this to be like witch hunty. This is not an offensive movie. It just misses some opportunities. That's how I would put it. regarding representation. Point number 3, how is the acting? The acting is great. The acting, Riley Keough is so good. I've said this before, she just really, really understands how to just be a person in front of a camera. And the same is true for Jeffrey Wright. He's very unassuming. Alexander Skarsgård doesn't have much to do here because his character is so impenetrable and bizarre and kind of nonsensical. But the acting is really good. The last point, and the best point, is the cinematography. It's beautiful, really, really nice scenery. So like easy to watch, beautiful to look at, good cinematography, composition, and everything is on point. But just left me scratching my head. Not as good as I wanted it to be so desperately. But check it out if you got some time. It's better than a lot of stuff I've seen this year on Netflix. So that's it for now, guys. Let me know if you've seen Hold the Dark, if you disagree with everything I said. What did you think? What else are you watching? I'll be back with more soon. Thanks for being cool. Call your mom today, and remember to drink water. See you soon, guys.